Screen look dark. All right, we're live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Sharon Ingram, Brickhouse, thank you for being here, for being the first one here this morning. And June O'Brien, thank you for being the second one here. Jet Shelley, Jet Shelley is in the building. Thank you for being here, Jet Shelley. I appreciate seeing you here. I hope you're doing or feeling good today. Marcia Walters is in the building this morning. Let me go ahead with the intro. All right. Andrew Skinner is here. Carrie Ann Jones is here. Debbie Jervis, Bromo Wright. Big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Great Goodies is in the building. Mr. Article Don, Wayne Nathan, DR is here. People are checking in. Ricky Reed is in the building. King Biggs Daya, Real G, Dainty D. Thank you for being here. Sean Cassell, big up yourself. Grace Tennant is in the building. Darlene Walter Riley. Roxy 21 is in the building this morning. BM is here and Karen Notice is in the building. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra, special, big up. Shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay-at-home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers, the Uber driver, the Lyft driver, the truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round town and long distance truck drivers. Shout out to the garbage truck driver, the school bus driver. Shout out to the train drivers, public transportation bus drivers. Shout out to every single clean-hearted, good-hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. If I go into professions, we could be here shouting people out all day. Shout out to all the law enforcement and the medical personnel people out there as well. Very essential people as well. All right. If your profession got left out, just know that I have a lot of respect for you, just for the simple fact that you're able to stick it and get up and get out and get it. And you're dedicated to something and something constructive at that, right? Now, here we go this morning. Debbie Jervis, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Crystal G and I'ma Inspire is in the building as well. Mervyn the Point, Jamaica Kerr is also here. I don't know. My lighting is a bit off this morning, but we will proceed because you can still see me and I'm sure you can hear me this morning. Let's get right into this. No long talking. Because I said yesterday, for those of you who saw the video that I put up, it was a live yesterday, but it wasn't a live like this. We have a live where we can pre-record a content, give it to your audience, and then sit back and watch it with the audience while you're watching it. So I can talk with you while we all watch what was recorded before. So we did that yesterday, and I said I want to start early today. Didn't start early today. We started 7:18. Trying to start at 7 is Monday morning. It's money making Mondays, is motivational Mondays, is all those things. We never say manic Mondays. But we didn't start on time. But I wanted to start early because today is the start, first day of Andreen Mcdonald's trial. And his trial will be live streamed, open court. Now, I've never seen. I'm going to do a bit of comparing and contrasting here, but it's not to put anybody down. I know if it's a foreign better than yard, and none of them something that some people getting at them feelings. Why I'm going like say foreign everything, and like them way better than yard. That's not the purpose. I'm just saying a high profile murder trial I've never seen open court in Jamaica. Matter of fact, I've never seen any trial open court in Jamaica before. Don't know if it ever happened. I've never seen it. It would be nice to see it. It would be nice to be able to gauge and weigh your public opinion, even though we're not a part of it per se, we're watching from the outside. But I guess now we have social media, and social media is quite powerful and can influence what's going on inside the courtroom. So they're a bit afraid to have these open court trials. Anyways, Andreen Mcdonald, for those of you who don't know, is the son of Beach. For those of you who don't know, is the son of Beachy Stout McDonald, a prominent businessman in Jamaica from Portland, who, by the way, they recently fleeced his account as well. Millions of dollars are missing from Beachy Stout's account as well. They actually caught the two people that did that, though. We're on the heels of Usain Bolt's money and SSL fraud case and all the other people along with Usain Bolt, because everybody is acting like Bolt is the only one that lost his money. But there were like 40 something people that the one person said, I, I did chop them people there. Yeah, me chop over me chop over 40 of them people there. And she gave a long list explanation of why she did it. So we're tracing the money this morning. Not only tracing the money, let's talk about Andre. The video I did yesterday had some information in it. This piece of information will get you right on par as to what is going to take place in his trial today. All right. So, Andreen Mcdonald is still an Air Force major, but his murder trial could change that. You know, we had a discussion yesterday. How come he's still an Air Force major? How come the Air Force didn't kick him out? Damn, you're mixed up and charged with murder. We don't want you in here. Well, the Air Force isn't so quick to jump to do that. Because what if he goes to trial and he's found innocent? You know, if he goes to trial and he's found innocent, then the Air Force would have risked all kinds of actions against them. So they're holding back. So on paper, he is still a major. I said it yesterday. I wanted to give people a feel for the kind of position that he's in. You know, his father, lots of money in Jamaica, a lot of people, whether they look up to him or they feared him or vice or a bit of both, he was in a prominent position or a position of power. The daddy is. The son was as well. Those of you who served in the military, you know, and you can explain to your civilian counterparts how the presence of a major changes the atmosphere in the room. Heavy ranking, right? So Andre was that. All right. His wife, Andreen, high achiever. So it's not surprising to see her with some high ranking military personnel kind of thing. You know, it goes with a man in uniform that not just one regular private or a regular enlisted man. He is an officer. People salute my man when they see him, all that. For those of you who don't know, also, you know, Andrea was married before, Andreen, right? Okay. Some stuff gonna come out in this trial that's gonna be very interesting. San Antonio, Andreen Mcdonald, and Andre, when you're there foreign, and the Jamaican just come out of you, Andreen Mcdonald, Andreen Mcdonald, the San Antonio man on trial this month for the 2019 murder of his wife, remains a member of the U.S. Air Force in a reservist role. Military officials have confirmed to the Kent 5 news station, but the outcome in the courts could change that, which is what I said. Andreen Mcdonald holds the rank of major, and he remains assigned to the Air Force 426th Network Warfare Squadron. Give you an idea of what he does in the military. Um, yeah, Network Warfare Squadron, a reserve unit based out of JBSA Lackland. Now, because it was the Bexar County Sheriff Office that brought the murder charges against him in 2019 following the disappearance of Andreen McDonald, U.S. Air Force Reserve officials have not taken any disciplinary actions against him as yet. Andreen McDonald faces life in prison if he is convicted in the death of Andreen, who's now yesterday we were going back and forth a little debate, and some people were saying, I don't think he's gonna get any jail time. I think he's gonna beat this case. And others, including myself, were saying he might escape the death penalty because they're going to throw him a bone because he is a military man, a career military man at that. He didn't go in and serve 2 years and got out and came out. He didn't go in and serve a short contract and came out. He's a lifer, right? Lifers are people who have made the military their whole career, their whole life. They plan to do their 20 plus and then retire from the military way down the road and all this. They usually see that as a sign of you're really one of their own and you're somebody that deserves a bone thrown at you. They take care of their own. However, make no mistake about it, the military is not a place for foolishness, you know? So once it is proven that you are indeed in the frigate, then they will come down on you as hard, even harder than anybody else. Anyhow, Andreen Mcdonald faces life in prison if he is convicted in the death of Andreen. Me personally, I think, this is my opinion, I think he's going to get life. I think he's going to get life. Why? Because of how she was found. What will lead up to him being convicted? They will have to prove in court that he is the one that put her in the position how she was found. And other details like it was done in front of their child. Once he's proven guilty, all that will come out. It was done in front of their child. So you murdered your wife in front of your child who is autistic and nonverbal, so the child can't confess and say, "Yes, I saw daddy do this to mommy," because the child can't speak. You did that. You disposed of her in a messed up condition. Then you did not cooperate. Then they had to go find her on their own. So you were trying to deny her family a decent burial, but the law found her on their own through some serious digging and searching, by the way, which he took no part in helping with. So her remains were found 5 months after she vanished in February of 2019, sparking a search that involved community members and volunteer groups. He was subsequently indicted for murder and tampering with evidence that October. 5 months, his wife was buried out there in the middle of nowhere. Now, I take contracts, right, in Texas to do OT work, and I go to the remote parts of Texas. It was out in one of these remote parts. People out there, some people out there, them have their money, and their money is old, generation passed down thing, and they have ranches, and you can drive like forever before you pass one ranch for meet the next ranch. Let me remind you where they found Andreen. A couple owns a ranch. An older couple owns a ranch way out in a. I was gonna say that's a military saying. I won't say that. We used to say "but fuck Egypt." But fuck Egypt in the military means it's way back a woy woy, right? Way out in a woy woy is where the couple ranch is situated. They don't normally go there all the time. The connection is they know Andre. Andre knows when they go there and when they don't go there. And the man and the woman that own the ranch, they said those words. We know him. He knows us. He knows when we're not there. Like, in no schedule, and no, so we're up north most. I don't know where they're at. I'm just saying. He knows we're not there. We're on the road, them travel, them got up north, down south, wherever. And it would have given him time to go out there, and it's a remote location, and he knows that if he puts something out there, more than likely nobody ain't gonna go out there to go search for it, right? Because it's private land, private property, and a huge piece of property. I can't express huge, and I can't express how jagged the terrain is on these ranches. Like the ranch, and not just one, and like what you see on TV, the ranch has like these big old hills and all these. It's a rugged terrain, and people have out there have their horses and them let go them horse them, and you'll see like 50 stallions just running wild and stuff. It's a beautiful sight out there, way out in a Texas backwoods backland place, but out there, so him drive carry her go bury her, right? And when they came back, thousands of acres, Crystal G, facts. And when they came back is when the law enforcement officials gained access to the land, and they asked the couple if them can go over. They're gonna do some digging. I don't know what. I think the couple stumbled upon something that didn't look right on their land and then put one and one together. And they knew that a massive search was going on, and they contacted law enforcement, and eventually some digging started. And the digging led to the discovery of Andreen's body out there. All right. This is why I say he's not going to be able to beat this. Speaking of that, so let me say, let me finish this first before I say what I'm gonna say. See, me, I follow this case and I'm following it bit by bit from the beginning all the way through. He was subsequently indicted for murder and tampering with evidence that October. The prolonged wait. People are wondering why the hell the case took so long to go to court. Well, the prolonged wait stems from a logistical dispute between prosecutors, those who are seeking to put him in prison, and his defense team over what would and what would not be permitted as evidence in court, as well as the effects of the pandemic. Remember, we just got through the pandemic for like 2 years, lockdown, everything had stopped. Here's the thing, he doesn't have public defendant attorneys. You know, when them read your Miranda rights, if you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed unto you. People like me and you who broke, and we don't have them long money to forget 3 private attorneys to work our case for us. We're going to have to throw ourselves at the mercy of the court and say, court, please give me a lawyer. They usually give you a lawyer whose boot heel lean, and the lawyer just come in there and tell us, listen, take the plea deal, because me broke to just like you and I need more clients. So the quicker we can run through yours, I can get on to another client. And they're going to fry you, man, if you don't take a plea deal. That's how most public defendants work. He don't have that. Here's the catch. Andre and Andreen were married. Andreen passed and left behind a substantial amount of resources. Who has access to the resources now? Him, because he's not convicted yet of killing her. So this is husband and wife, something did it, right? Okay. He's able now to use those resources to get himself proper defense to fight the trial for her murder. The irony. Think about that. The irony. Imagine, just saying, hypothetically speaking, he's guilty. Come, I don't want to throw no bone at the people and something. Hypothetically speaking, say he's guilty, right? Imagine your spouse murder you, and then whatever your spouse left behind or whatever y'all built together, your spouse is now able to liquidate those assets or dig into those savings and use that to defend himself after I murder you or she murder you and dash you away. Onika St. John Jones says they should have frozen the account. That's a catch-22. They can't freeze the account because he's not guilty. As we stand right now, he is not guilty. By law, he is not guilty, and he is not guilty until he is proven guilty. Right, so he's basically using her money to defend himself. And if you ever serve in the military, you know that I don't care what rank you are, that money is not enough to live like how they were living. People are under the impression that military people make a lot of money, and they don't. Here is how military people manage to look like we make a lot of money. Your housing, you don't have to pay nothing. I lived in a 2-story house in a gated community where to get into my community that I lived in for like 7 years straight first, you would have to be somebody special. Put it that way. They search even underneath your vehicle. Most vehicles have to pop the hood and pop the trunk to come into where we live, right? So you have a gated community. You have this is family housing. If you're single, if you're a new young couple and your serving partner, the one who is enlisted in the military, is of low ranking, they'll get an apartment or a condo. And then you have the apartments and condos over here. And then over there, you have for the higher ranking people, them those who have served more time or those who rank is higher, you have houses. Starts out with townhouses and then it goes into some big sprawling houses, right? You don't pay a penny for any of that. I never had a light bill. I never had nothing, no bills. So you're getting paid, but you have no bills. That is how they managed to. And then travel, that's a whole nother thing. We travel in a military airspace. When I was in Germany, it was called a Mac flight. And the Mac flight, because we were in Germany, we call that the access, the gateway to the rest of Europe. So on weekends, so we had like a 4-day weekend coming up, right? Or an extended 5-day weekend because it's some holiday that's going to last 5 days long. We all start looking at each other like, okay, where are we going? Let's take the family and head over to Italy. Let's go see Italy. Okay. So you and your whole family and your brethren and theme whole family and your next brethren and theme whole family, 2, 3 kids and all that. We all could afford to jump on a flight, go to Italy, and we pay about $30, $45, that kind of stuff. So when you see them traveling many places and stuff like that, it's all the perks that comes with the job. It's not necessarily that they, oh damn, they're in uniform and military life is so, it looks so like some kind of fantasy thing. They make whole heap of money. No, they don't. You'll be surprised to know how much they make. Matter of fact, it's public information. You can go look it up. Start out with a private salary because most people that go in starting out as a private. Look up a private salary. You'll be like, oh hell no. You flip burgers at Burger King and make more than that. Right. So what I'm saying is his salary for the big house they lived in, the gated community exclusive neighborhood, because they lived in one of those places where the house them over there costs a lot and there's only certain people live over there in that type of a community. You had to have special access to get in there. Her mama lived with them. That's another piece of information I should put in this morning. I have more information for you. I go give you. I walk everybody through so everybody understand fully the whole picture. So you're not just somebody outside looking in and don't really have a clue, right? So finding her body out there on the ranch, confirmed by the couple who owns the ranch that they know him and he knows them and he knows that they're not there all the time. He kind of knows their schedule. When they're not there, it would be fitting that he would try to hide it over there because he knows that for another 9, 10, 11 months, 12, a year even, sometimes they don't go there for over a year. Right. All right. So the prolonged wait for the case was because of them arguing back and forth. What should be admitted in court? Nah, throw that out. What should not be admitted in court plus Corona. It's unknown how long the trial will last. We could never say. Now that it's finally underway in Bexar County, but McDonald's Air Force assignment may be impacted if he's found guilty. That's a given. Everybody knows that's a given, right? If he's found guilty, the Air Force don't want no parts of you. You gone. You're going to prison as a convicted murderer, and you will be a disgrace. Let me tell you something, right? I had a brethren that was high ranking while I was in the military. And I stood there and watched how they sent him out. Yo, the man, me not call no name or nothing, but he came in, right? Shackled, hands shackled to his feet. And he came in shuffling like this, like a real criminal, like he committed murder. I can tell you what he didn't have nothing to do with murder. It had to do with drugs. And it had to do with drugs and self-medicating. But because he was such a high-ranking person, this was like our second combat operation deployment. And he came back. Everybody was going spiraling in different directions. I was the first person in my company to start walking around and asking other soldiers. I said, yo, you think they injected us with something? You feel like you want to fight anybody? Because I'm feeling like I want to go. Like I want to just punch. I want to take off and just break somebody's face. And I remember my first sergeant overhearing me saying that, and he spoke to the platoon sergeant and said, "Get me in there." Right? And then that's a whole other story. So after them kind of deployment that everybody go through, I was in an infantry unit, rapid deployment. Everybody go through their stuff. See, he that's how they brought him in, shackled, hands shackled to his feet, shuffling, coming through, and they order you to dress in your dress uniform. So he's dressed up. Everybody know what a dress uniform look like. It don't look like the one where you see every day. So he's looking spiffy and everything in a dress uniform and come through like this. He stands there. This is UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice, my friend. As he's standing there in the front, shackled and everything like that, out comes the words. How much of a disgrace. After they tell you you've been convicted of this and the panel has found you guilty and blah, 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 commander goes up to him, says you're a disgrace to the uniform, blah, blah, blah. Grab the sleeve of the man uniform. Then not take off your rank, you know, my friend. The man rip off the man whole sleeve off him uniform and come out there. He went in there in a long sleeve bush jacket with the shirt. Y'all know, I don't know if y'all know how the uniform looks, but with a dress shirt underneath, rips the man whole sleeve off the uniform with all his rank and everything on it, on both sides. Rip it down so he come out in a vest and leave it hanging because them can't take it off because you're handcuffed. So your sleeves are now hanging down here and they take you out. So it's some kind of treatment like that that he would get if he is convicted. They won't get a chance to rip his uniform off him though, because he will be in court. And once it's finalized and the verdict comes back that says he's guilty, they're just going to, you know how them do. They come around you, stand up, turn around, put your hands behind your back, and he will immediately go into custody. My virgin was in, we were in garrison. So that's a different story, but that's how much the military, when they're ready to dispose of you, and after you've been convicted of anything wrong, this is how you get treated with so much disdain. Like them no want nothing to do with you. Like you shame them and them becks. Even though behind the scenes they might be talking to you like, oh, Mac, why didn't you ask me for help, man? Like, are you okay? Like stay in touch with me. You have my number, you got my Facebook, whatever. They'll talk to you like that behind the scenes. But for the show, you getting dumped. Okay, so military officials tells the news channel that depending on how it all develops, he could also be involved in a board of inquiry process comprised of senior military members that will independently examine the allegations. That wouldn't happen until his trial is over. So you're going to have civilian courts dealing with him, and then you're going to have the military courts dealing with him. UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. Right, Mervyn, the point Jamaica Kerr, because now they have to justify his discharge. Was he framed up and their board of people seeing it as him wrongfully going to prison? They won't dishonorably discharge him. If they do their own, which they have to, if they do their own investigation and it corroborates with what the finding is at the end, if he's found guilty, then he will be dishonorably discharged. But they can't just say, okay, civilian courts found you guilty, so you're dishonorably discharged. That's not how it works. GI, government issued. You are owned. You are government property. He is. Meaning he belongs to the military. So even though he's doing the civilian court stuff, he still has to go through his military court stuff as well, right? Okay, so a board of inquiry typically takes 3 to 4 months, officials said. A board of inquiry through the military usually takes about 3 to 4 months. And in the meantime, his unit leadership remains in contact with him. These are his brothers. These are his sisters. These are his family by extension. So they're going to be checking on him. They're going to be going to visit him. They're going to be seeing how he's doing. If he needs anything, is he being treated properly under law. That. Sean Cassell says, let's take the like to 300 plus. Sean, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Sometimes I forget. A lot of times I forget to ask people to hit the thumbs up button, please. But I'll continue with the thing. Could y'all please hit the thumbs up button? Sean is asking to hit the thumbs up button. I'm asking now to hit the thumbs up button. Anyhow, he recalled the horrifying moments of uncertainty. Now, opening arguments in McDonald's trial are currently scheduled for today, Monday, this morning, 9 a.m. That's why I want to get off so I can get ready for go see, because I want to see it from beginning to end. One of Andreen's friends, Joe, believes it's been far too long for this to get started. He recalls the horrifying moments of uncertainty when Andreen didn't show up for work in early 2019. Her disappearance prompted a community-wide mission to find her alongside law enforcement. And I mean, people came out. Y'all can Google and Google Pics and look up the search party for Andreen Mcdonald. I mean, they came out. People, it's called fanning the ground. So they'll hold hands or they'll walk online side by side. This is how I was saying that they should have searched for Donnelly Donaldson when they were searching like over the Riverton dump and these things. That kind of search. That's how they search in the military. When they search a ground, nothing is left not searched. You will have 150 people start on that side of a field, 50 on this side by side. You walk online, every piece of ground must be stepped on, visually looked at, seen, and everybody is doing that until they all meet. And then it's going to be double checked, because when we cross over and start going back the other way, that party coming this way is going to double search what we just searched coming this way, and we're going to double search what they. You see what I'm saying? Yes. Stuff like that is why my mind could never be civilian minded again. Really. You understand the levels of that kind of search there? They meet in the middle. And then when they cross, this party is going to be searching again. So right there, you're getting a double search on both sides. And everything is done physically, manpower. Not send 4 man over there go search the whole dump, or 10 man over there go search the whole dump. They can't possibly search every square inch of that dump. But if military personnel is searching it, every square inch of it is going to get searched. So her friend says it scared all of us. We formed big groups and we tried to search for her. The police tried to search for her as well, said Joe, who asked the news station Channel 5 to only use his first name for safety concerns. Because, you know, people are like, he's in the military, he's still connected to the military, he might have buddies in there. Some people have the notion that, yo, that might come for me. I don't want to say nothing too out the way about him. Some of his military buddies, I'm not trained like how they're trained, and he's into cyber warfare and stuff like that. Joe said that he couldn't fathom how the defendant was afforded any amount of bond, because he was bonded out. His bail was set, I remember, at $1 million and something, right? And his lawyers argued it down and had his bail reduced. And then they got it to a number that he could actually afford to pay. And he paid his bond, he got out, and he's been living at home ever since. Now, despite the fact that Andreen Mcdonald remains under house arrest as a condition of bailing out for a second time in 2021, the state and defense spent Tuesday evening interviewing dozens of candidates to serve as members of the jury, and they already picked the jury and they are ready to go to trial. Everything was finalized by 5 p.m. and dismissed until this morning, Monday morning. They are ready to go. The remainder of the week features arguments revolving around the defendant's motion to dismiss evidence. His mother lives with them, I said before. And his mother, his attorney cross-examining his mother was asking his mother stuff like, Why why did you who gave you permission to give somebody the right to search? Who gave you permission to give law enforcement the right to search a house that does not belong to you? That's how complicated this is getting. But this is the law. Us on the outside, we can say, nah, SouFLo, your wife got missing. You start act suspicious. Then you're not working with the police for firearm. If he say I him do it, may I watch him from when? Him look like I him do it. Our opinion is just our opinion. The court system is different. So the judge that is presiding in the murder trial of the Air Force major charged in the murder of his wife issued some rulings on Friday on pre-trial motions that were filed by the defense. Andreen Mcdonald is accused in the 2019 slaying of Andreen, who remains were found 4.5 to 5 months after she disappeared. Now, for the past 2 days, the defense went through their stuff. The video I put up yesterday, I don't want to rehash the video I put up yesterday. I want people to actually see the video. Because some people will say, me now watch the video there. Me wait till him go live. So if you want all of that information there, you have to go watch that video I put up yesterday. Now, one of the things I found interesting that was not in the video I put up yesterday, on Thursday, defense attorney John Hunter argued that search warrants that were conducted in 2019 by the county sheriff should not be allowed in the trial because he said that they unlawfully entered the house through a window. The judge fling out that. That was a victory for Andre. Part of that's in there. On Wednesday, Andreen Mcdonald's friend, who is Carol Ganbar, she gave pre-trial testimony about the history of the McDonald's marriage. This is her bestie. She was the first to report Andreen missing after she failed to report to work on March 1st of 2019, and nobody could get a hold of her, which was very not normal of her. Ganbar, which is her bestie, said that through her friendship with Andreen, Andreen revealed to her time and time again that my marriage is in trouble. We're having a lot of problems and we're having a lot of arguments. And a lot of the times when they have arguments, Andre would often get physical with her, choke her, grab her, fling her, punch her up, them kind of things there. That's what she was telling Bestie, or according to Bestie, allegedly. That's what Bestie is coming to court to testify. Ganbar said that she went to the McDonald's home to look for Andreen Mcdonald, and this is why she went to look for her, because, you know, a woman I got tell her Bestie said, girl, I don't know, man. I'm through with this marriage because he's starting to put hands on me. Like every time we argue, it turned into me having to run, and I'm running around the damn house. I'm a grown person. This man is throwing stuff at me. If he catches me, he's punching me, he's choking me, you know. So she's gonna confide in somebody, right? Well, this is the bestie. So that's why her suspicion went right up as soon as she didn't show up. So she went over there. She was like, nah, something's not right because this ain't, they recently had a fight, another fight, and it got physical. I'm gonna go over there just to check on her and make sure she's okay. This is what she's gonna testify in court. This is the information she's given so far. Ganbar said when she went to the McDonald's home to look for Andreen Mcdonald, she entered the house because there was a door that was open. Nobody answered. When she rang, ding, 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 nobody was answering. She walked right in. She said that she noticed blood and hair on a light switch in Andreen's master bedroom. The defense cross-examined her, the bestie, with questions about why. Now this is his attorneys, right? His attorneys are like, why would you enter somebody else's house without permission? And also about her conversation with the Bexar County Sheriff investigations about the case. Like, what have you told them so far? Where did you get this information from? Are you sure that is what Andreen told you? That kind of thing. So on Friday, the defense and prosecution made their final argument before the 399th District Court Judge Frank Castro, who didn't waste any time delivering a ruling after the two sides were finished. As far as the illegal arrest goes, this is what the judge said. He said, as far as the illegal arrest goes, I'm going to grant the defense motion to suppress on that. And as far as this written note, yesterday in the video, I explained to y'all what the note was, all the information that was on the note, where they found the note on him, where he was arrested at, and all that. The judge said all that is getting thrown out, cannot be used against him in court. His team scored a victory, another victory. During the trial, the judge will not allow any mention of certain things. Go find out in the video I put up yesterday what those certain things are. Castro's ruling, though, also gave the prosecution some wins. Search warrant that mentioned Andreen's friend finding blood and hair in her bathroom on the light switch. That information is on sheriff deputy's paperwork, and the sheriff deputy that found the shovel and a bunch of other stuff that look like you would use those to dispose of a body. Okay, those will be admitted into court. Also, a testimony from Andreen mother, Maureen Smith, will be admitted into court. She was living at the house with Andre and Andreen when Andreen disappeared. Funny enough, check the timing. Mommy lived there with us, right? That must have been a hell of a situation. First of all, how am I put hands on her with maybe just like how she disappeared with her not being there? It was perfect timing because mom lives there, but her daughter disappears on a day when she was not there. Right. Those relationships can be so contentious, like having your mother-in-law living in your house. Because you know she got to take her daughter side most of the time. So he's probably in there battling two women. So Smith, who is her mom, she was living at the home with Andre and Andreen. Smith was working that night. Her daughter disappeared. But she allowed BSCO to go into the home when they arrived there. The defense is now questioning her about giving permission to BSCO to search a house that is not hers, that doesn't belong to her, that she does not own. Now, that makes no damn sense to me because my daughter missing. You're law enforcement. I'm not going to stand in the way of any investigation. My only hope is to find my daughter. So no one search the house. Come right on in. May I fling the door open? I'm opening the windows. Y'all could come all the way in, which is what she did. Both Smith, which is the mother of Andreen, and Gambar, which is her friend, testified that Andreen Mcdonald was having an affair. Boom, that part. Both Smith, which is her mother, our mother, you know, and her friend testified that she was having an affair. But of course, we're putting allegedly with a man in Jamaica that she had recently visited a little over a month ago before she disappeared. Mm. So I know people are gonna say, yo, so okay, she give her something. She did a game bun. That still don't warrant him killing her and disposing of her body in the manner that he did. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. This goes all kinds of ways. Bring this back now to his father, Beachy Stout. Tanya McDonald, who was significantly younger than Beachy. Them they said Beachy have diabetes. Him teely wheely don't work no more. All kind of something. Anyhow, is young girl and she want shoppings. and she was very much into exciting life outside, something where him can't keep up with. So, film girl wife did a give him bun. Father's wife was giving him bun. Son wife giving him bun. Father is now accused of getting rid of his wife because she was giving him bun. Son is now accused of getting rid of murdering his wife because she was giving him bun. The irony of this all. The actual trial is scheduled to begin today at 9 a.m. And if found guilty, I told you before, he faces life in prison. I believe he's going to get life in prison. So stay tuned because I will be updating you on what I take place, what I go on with this. Matter of fact, let me not lose my links. I don't want to lose my link because then I dig and try to find and shout out to the people who say, yo, SouFLo, you know, sister Andreen Mcdonald, Beaches Stout Son trial start. Come on, we need to hear something from you. Well, I had to dig and try to find these things and try to find credible information from credible sources. You know, the thing about the internet nowadays is that it's out here for everybody. So every and anybody posts information, and if you're the kind of person that just take the first piece of information that you get without vetting your sources and stuff, you will end up on the side where it never goes so. It does somebody make it sound interesting and exciting. So yeah. All right. Now, with that, I was writing down my link to make sure I'm old school. Even though I save it on computer, I still write it down on paper 2 and 3 times just in case computer crash, wipe out, all kind of something like that. Now, sound like they salt. Bunches said it sound like 2 of them salt. Why the people who really salt still are the girl them? Because the more funny thing about all this is them 2 girls are childhood friends. Not just 2 people who met because my dad is married to this woman and me I carry my wife go Jamaica go meet this woman. They're all from the same place in Jamaica. The 2 women them are childhood friends, good friends. The picture that you see them standing side by side with that little girl in the front of them in the middle, that was her last trip to Jamaica. She linked up with our friend. Now, you know, people were saying, boy, SouFLo, if she got link up with Tanya, you know, cause Tanya did wild. All right. That's what people are saying. I'm not saying it's factual. I'm not saying I know this. I'm saying that's what people were saying. You know, you have a wild friend. Yeah, I'm coming. Me come down in the next week. All right. So what we are doing, man, we are going to one party where blah, 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 and then we are go over so and so. All right, then this, that, and the other. Talk to him, girl. Him look good. See him there. I don't know. But it's alleged. Let me use me alleged. Word got back to now our mother said, our friend said, both are testifying in court. So me think me can say it too. I'm at liberty now to say it. That's the cause. He found out that the kitty was being shared, and it was being shared by somebody who she had a relationship with before, who she was very much in love with before. And he felt threatened. You know, he felt disrespected. And him say, under the grung you go. You know, sometimes you start arguing, right? That's why it's not good to even argue for too long, you know. Because you start arguing, you feel like, yo, I just want to get my point across. And she feel like, well, me I get my point across to, and before you know it, the argument gone from what you were arguing about to just some, you dirty bitch, move your fuck nigga, you dirty thinking boy. And that's why we are hooked by you. Where's the girl? I can one bam bam and I put your hand on me, knife in your neck side. Yeah. And before you know it, it gone to something totally different. Now we just want to fight. No, it's not. So it's best to just, yo, the arguing something that can often turn deadly. Yeah, can often turn deadly. And see that one of them case there, they found her like almost 5 months later, wrapped up in a tarpaulin in a shallow grave on some people property way out in the back of Woy. Andre knew all the damn long which part Andreen was, my opinion, and he hid her out there, my opinion, and the evidence will show that, my opinion. Him have a good team of lawyers though, so anything can play in a court. Because one thing I know about court in the United States of America, I've seen some people get off of some things where it all pointed to them, and they still got off. Technicalities here, there, and you have a good lawyer team, you can beat it. But I have faith in the justice system because I've seen multimillionaires, even billionaires, get stripped down through evidence and went to prison like anybody else. So, it kind of gives you that feeling like nobody is above the law. You're not going to escape because of status or anything like that, links or anything like that. If it's there and it pops up and your team is unable to hide it, yeah, go to prison. And I think he's going to prison, right? All you need is reasonable doubt, Onika St. John Jones says. Yeah. In a film case, though, film thing air seal tight. I don't see no reasonable doubt. So whose fault that he has diabetes? Maybe he stopped taking care of himself. Talk to God, not her. Then you wind up killing the person you love. Karen, notice. All right, so before I go on to my other thing we're gonna talk about this morning, because boy, you see the money thing in Jamaica, the fraud thing, the SSL thing, the Usain Bolt money thing. That's something that is gonna take up the rest of this morning. Very interesting. Everybody has subtracted themselves from it. But we're going to talk about that. But before, on the heel of what Karen Notice just said, so who give him diabetes, maybe him stop take care of himself, all this. I have a message to men. Men, listen. Women are way less forgiving than we are when it comes to you changing from what she initially was attracted to when she first got with you, kind of thing. Let me explain to you. She can have 2 and 3 and 4 picnic for you and all these things, right? And you met her at 150 pounds and she did light and thin and small and fine and all these things. And now she's 300 pounds. She put on a whole new person, double herself. You're expected to still love her, right? And be passionate with her when you make love to her. Like, even if, people have a type. So if you're like, I don't know, man, I can't see myself with a fatty. If that's your mindset, I can't see myself with a fatty, but your wife just get fat. She just get extra fat. You still have to go dig deep and find passion in yourself. You still have to go cock it up and jack it up. Maybe you have to go do extra push-ups. I don't know. Drink some coffee before you go in and go beat it up. I don't know, but you have to go still come with the same energy like before. And she has excuses. She can say, well, my body changed. You and your picnic them ruined my body. Because when they didn't meet me, didn't look good. And you and your picnic them ruined my body. Right? And you say to yourself, say, but a long time ago, the picnic them born and thing. Well, the baby weight take 10 years to come off. You see how much picnic me give? We give them back to back. You can't argue with that, my friend. You cannot argue with it. You have to go live with that. Remember, I'm telling you, you have to go live with that. Now, on your ends now, for the man side, when she met you, you had a 6-pack. You had a nice chest. All these things. Fast forward a couple of years down the road, you have 2 titty. You have a beer belly or a round gut. Can't see your belt when you look down straight, so you have to move a little bit out of the way and these things. She will tell you, oh, I love you, babe. I love you. I love you fat. I love you skinny. You're not even really that fat. She'll try to make you feel good and thing. But as soon as you turn your back, I look upon some man, whether it's on this demon device right here. That's why when time you see her on her phone, so and you walk towards her, you'll see her start go, so watch your right hand. Just scroll 20 pages up and oh my gosh, really? That's funny right there. And the 10 man what she did on before, she scroll up God. Every time you walk past her, she turn her back like this. So you can't see her phone. And she look on the man them where I work out, and she look on the man them where body look chiseled and look good. Well, look like what you used to look like when you did meet her. And listen up, the message of the day is this. Don't you ever change for her. Don't you ever change for her. Stay the way you were the whole time. Try your best to stay the way you were the whole time, because you don't have no excuse. You don't get a pass. Carry yourself, go to the gym, right? This summer, and I'm talking like this because this summer for me, it's gonna be a revenge summer. That's what I'm on this summer. Because listen, you, they'll cook you into diabetes, just like Karen just said. Who game diabetes? You help game diabetes. You up there every day. Macaroni and cheese. Oh, babe, I know you like macaroni and cheese. What we having today? More macaroni and cheese. If you see the amount of butter and the amount of cheese and the amount of sitting where she put in it, we could have clog any water pipe, any water hose, much less your little arteries them. See? So you're there gaining all this weight. Oh, let's have a romantic evening, babe, and sit on the couch and cuddle with this big old tub of ice cream. We're gonna have ice cream, and we're gonna this after dinner, and dinner is gonna be huge. And she's gonna serve it to you in a one dish pan. My granny used to call them big old plate of food, right? And she's gonna eat one big plate of food beside you too. And two we are gonna lay down and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm full. Oh gosh, I'm so full. Yeah, me overeat. Me sure some me overeat." And the day I get fat, and I get fatter. I get fatter. In the meantime, in her mind, she's like, I got him. Ain't nobody else looking at him. And that woman want. One thing about women, my friend, I man them may I talk to, woman can say what no answer this morning, but give me this before we go into the money something. One thing about woman me realize is them like what other woman like. Them want what other woman want. So if other woman not see you as desirable, them not going to see you as desirable neither. That's why it's important to also remain a little bit toxic throughout the entire. Yes, SouFLo just said it. I did. I'm not being good this morning. Remain a little bit toxic throughout the entire relationship. Me not tell. If you go mash up your marriage and go take on side girl and one whole situation, but remain a bit toxic. Always let her know that there's competition there. Don't hide the competition there. Make she know. Make she know. Say there's always competition there. You know what I say? And take care of yourself, and let her make she yam the big tub of ice cream by herself. For her body are gonna look big and nice and rounder, and it gonna look good when she put on the little tongues and these kind of things. Or when when she set it on you that way there, and you can look on that view there, you no look so. And you're not gonna look the same. When fear body start look like that, you not gonna look the same. She gonna stop look upon you. That's why you gonna find yourself someplace in your relationship now. You take off your clothes in front of her, she just look the other way. Or you're in a relationship now where you never get a compliment from her, even though you compliment her every day. Damn, babe, you so fine. Yo, I want her. And make her feel good about herself, touch up the body and slap it up every time she passes you in the house and these things. But put on something sexy, man. Like little shots and I love see you and that around the house. Rev up my engine whole day, because I'm ready later by then. And these things. You can't do nothing for excite her, my friend. Not a thing. You don't get no compliments no more, because she compliment man out the road. She might not be complimenting them by, hey, you look fine or you're good. She's complimenting them by looking. The looks where you not get no more. The looks where you used to get when she did thought look for you, when she first thought, I want him for myself. Now, me not talk about the woman them where you have your big belly man from him from beginning, and that is your type. I'm not talking about you, right? Because you done, that is your type. That's different. We are talking about the man them will change for the woman them, thinking they're being a good spouse and they're spending time on the couch. No, don't spend no time on the Ross couch. Go to the gym. Go to the gym. Makes you wonder why you in the gym so much. And one of the fit girl them in the gym you feature, or why you not in the house. You have to keep it fiery and spicy. That's a part of keeping it fiery and spicy. The chase must always be on. When the chase is not on no more, it gets boring. And she get boring. Women get bored easily. Women get bored easily. At them usually are the first one Figure file divorce. Don't take my name, my word for it. Go look at the statistics. Says the same woman will tell us, I love you to death. I will follow you to the ends of the earth. I'll never leave you. You're the best thing that ever happened to me a few years down the road. I can't take this no more. I'm gone. I ain't never do her nothing. You just not that anymore. You know? So, message to the men them. Get yourself back to yourself and stay yourself the whole time. Not true? See them so. So, with that said, moving right along. Yo, message for the morning. Stay toxic, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little bit. Stash. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Stay toxic just a little bit. The girl can't stay toxic with me. No man can stay toxic with me. Because I don't care who want you. If you want who want you, then you don't want me. Then me no business. I'm the kind of person like this. If you're doing what you're doing, if you do anything at all, hey, one day to come out. Until then, I'll probably be like Beachy Stout and him son. May I take bun? But it's okay. Because eventually I'll find out. God will make what is for me, I'm going to drop in my lap one day. And then we'll deal with it then. I tell men this also. Nobody spend no time wasting, friggin' chasing no woman. You are the prize, Mr. Man. Not chase no woman. Nobody be out here talking about, I wonder what she'll do. Make she do that. Make mad out somebody daughter, make she do that. Make she search phone. Make she go look in a car. Make she go up on the vehicle. You're not do none of that. You're not business. Right? We never shot a woman yet. We never shot a pretty woman yet. So what we are chasing for? We are creating a situation where if you want to be a part of it, you be a part of it. If you don't want to, then the door is open. Leave. Somebody else will come enjoy it. That's it. So the time you are going to take a search phone, because someone do them something I know. Them diligently search the whole house. Them search phone. Them search up all crevice up. I always see her over there corner here. I bet you something she hide over here under that something. And nothing under there, you know. And them a search around here, so and them a search down there, so she put on her purse. Hot. She in her kitchen, in her bathroom with her purse. Talk about, yeah. Yeah, me soon come. You need anything in here? No? All right. Then. Me not know that. Me not search a thing. I don't want to know nothing. I don't I don't want to know nothing. Me not searching nothing. Me not care. Me not want your phone. Me not want to know who in your IG inbox. I don't want you and whoever is communicating. That a phone business. Just make sure say him have when me have and better. Just make sure say him can meet you more than halfway like I do. Just make sure say over panda side of the grass really greener. Cause over there you go. After me find out, you know, and you know what's done in the dark usually always comes to light. Like my granny say, and my granny never wrong yet. See? All right. So message for the day. Stash said just a little red pill talk for the morning. Right? That's from a friend. Right? Remember the point Jamaica car, me park down the road. We don't want to know ya, man. Y'all take care of yourself. You're gonna get money. You're gonna take care of your finances. OG said to me, right? I was in the army doing stupid shit. I was getting in trouble. Them said me go get some counseling. So this OG said that my counselor, I'm calling him an OG because he did a complete life in the military and then went to school after and became a behavioral counselor. And they sent me to him. Hold on, let me take a call. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning. Bro. What happened, fam?
Shame on you. Disgrace on you.
Shame on
you. Look what they have done to our government, bro. Bring now. Let me try and carry them up. Bring now. So for them up. Bring now. Fix it up.
Brother, we can't hear you, you know. Me don't want to hang up on you, but we can't hear you. Anyhow, me have to hang up on him because I can't hear him, but if the why in the him mood. Brother, you're watching. I didn't mean to hang up on you, but we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Let me say what the OG said, and then we go into that. The counselor said, as a man, get your affairs in order financially, right? Set your life up, set your mind right, put yourself in a position. And once you do that, all the rest is gravy. We see it all the time. What all them say? Men never lose, you never lose nothing chasing money, but you lose everything chasing women. So you chase your money, you build your assets, you build your portfolio, you build yourself, your investment portfolio, your insurance things, and your this and your that, and wherever you want to invest in. You put yourself like that, and once you do that, he said top quality women. And the women that you think now, cause them time them did broke, and I was a private in the army, but just a reach in. See it? He said the girls that you're chasing now and getting in trouble for and all this other stuff, that's, you won't even be attracted to those kind of women once you get yourself together, right? Once you get yourself together financially and all the other alleys, then you will see a different breed of women you will be attracted to, and a different breed of women will be attracted to you as well, the top tier ones. So no worry about all that other stuff, me youth. If you get born now, I saw you go. Just work by yourself and get this. I'll get yourself together. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Oh, boy, boy, boy,
My dad enough on one.
is it? But it's not about two. I don't want to go through.
Yeah, you have it on speaker or Bluetooth or something, cause we can't hear you, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no way I hear you. What?
Food criminal, that is on they want food criminal. They want food criminal. Quicksilver, they want food criminal. Exclusive, flow. We can't believe that we are poor. We can't believe the game poor. We can't believe the hears. Can't believe we are no one book get clear. We can't believe that we are poor. We can't believe the game poor. We
Can
can't
be here, I
believe the
can't
hears.
believe, can't
Can't
believe.
believe we are no one book get clear. We not touch the back, we not touch the back bird. Jack it on fire. And then nothing bird. And one like said them thing on no good bird. We bank out at the millions them a bird. That's them on. We bank out them a work with my hand. That's them on. Them see the money and them not get long on. We
But,
can't
but
believe we can't believe we can't
need,
believe the game good.
yo, me wish you did clearer.
Yeah.
Me hear what you say off and on, but I wish it was clearer. I wish
Right.
if it is clearer, we could have really hear you. It would have been more impactful. The only thing we I really hear is can't believe, and bank something. Your line not clear.
So yeah.
You see it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I know this is the program, we just not hear you properly.
Show me the on the highway I drive man and a freestyle, you know.
My brother. All right then, let's say a word.
Alright, let's go.
All right, manners and respect, yeah?
Say it.
All right. Yeah. Me not understand. Audrey said, me not understand anything myself. Where the money there? And that's what I talk about, where the money there. Well, here we go this morning with where the money there. Let's see. You know what? You see the woman where come confess, says she fleeced about 40 plus of her, cause her father had the got sick and she had to dip into their account, and then her brother they lose his mind and start chasing their mother and attack her, and they had to put him in a mental home, and then a bag of things happened in her life. That's why she had to thief out the people their money. You see, her pastor has now intervened. Let me tell you something. If you watch this play out carefully, I seen Andrew Holness, and is it Mark Golding? The one from the PMP side. Me no, none of them, some I really know. Mark Golding, Andrew Holness. So opposition and the leading ruling are holding hands in prayer. And I'm saying to myself, this are the only thing when you can come together for and unify for Jamaican people to see unity, right? Prayer and religion and church. That as long as they keep the people under that umbrella and under that spell, it's all good. And I watch both of them there, and I'm like, there's so much work that needs to be done, and up here about a time for prayer. And right after that happened, this article bust now with her pastor comes out to basically tell the congregation and the public, don't be so hard on her. Because, you know, one minute we are here saying, Hallelujah, Jesus, praise the Lord. And the next minute we find ourselves wrapped up in some things, doing some things that even we are asking ourselves. That pastor is a rotted con man, asking ourselves, how did we get here? Why are we doing this? Me don't know why I talk about pastor. That sound like somebody when I know self-control. We are big people and you look like you bigger than my mother age. So you me don't know what kind of self-control, you level of self-control as a pastor you are telling the people them. But they always do this. They always do this. Anything go wrong, pray hard about it and leave it to God. And leave it in Jesus' hands because he'll fix it. And that's it. Right? The man said the pastor come out to say, we are in church singing now how we love Jesus and how Jesus loves us. And the next thing we know, we are doing some things that we don't know how we do it, how we got caught up in this wave of indiscipline and indecency. So don't always be so condemning. Also said about a month before, she made a full confession. And he was telling the congregation that she made a full confession about a month before. So he knew about this ahead of her coming out to the media and saying what she said. So she confessed her sins to the Lord already, and we must not be so judgmental of the sister. Yo, when the pastor talk, right, or when me I watch a pastor, me I say to myself, say, pastor get film share and all that money there, you know, because you know already tithes and offerings. Pimping is pimping, baby. Tithes and offerings. You got to throw your tithes and offerings. God don't like you coming here and not throwing your. You are not Christianing if you're not throwing your tithes and offerings. So she have to throw her tithes and offerings, and through the tithes and offerings, pastor get film cut long time. So when it come now time to defend her, you think pastor go say nothing else? Pastor knows that some of that money they stash up somewhere around a one part over one place like Gage they say. And and he wants some more tithes and offerings. The money no God. People are gonna go through what them go through because the penalties are gonna be light. I was just reading up this morning before doing this show. Somebody else got, let me go through some of this for you. Shout out to the Jamaica Gleaner. So the defendant, Kadeen Thomas, was remanded when she appeared in court on January 20th with her bail. Additional concerns about the safety of investment in Jamaica is not just SSL has been raised following the arrest and the charge of a NCB wealth advisor as well. So I know just the SSL wealth advisor will come out, come confess. A NCB wealth advisor was caught up as well in a $21 million fraud scheme as well. That defendant, Kadeen Thomas, she was remanded when she appeared in court on January 20th, 2023, with her bail hearing set to continue February 2nd. So she's still in a lockup. That's the reason why. My girl, they come Palawaka. See, Kadeen never get the memo. She didn't follow Messi Masado's thing. Messi lead the way, you know. She showed them, you know. Drink the Senapod and the Cersei. We eat a whole heap of scrambled egg and something. Go in there and shit up yourself in the courtroom. You are that ill. Now have your attorneys say is some kind of stomach something the doctors can't really figure out is what you need attention, medical attention on a constant basis of the likes of which they will not be able to provide for you in the lockup. Them are gonna say, okay, go up your big house, go stay. We're gonna hold you upon house confinement. Now you see, when Messi Masada found out that people are starting to go to jail for this, she said, I don't know half a tree me ago. And me gonna carry one boot with me. Y'all seen the video? So she went from doing up herself in court to walking out in a half a tree square with 1 foot of shoes on and just a dragging next foot of shoes up. Like mad, mad, mad smaddy. So she losing her mind now. You can't put somebody who's losing their mind in there. She's deteriorating rapidly, is what our attorney is going to come to court and say, right? Is a part of the plan. Now, the case follows a $65 million fraud probe at Sagicor Bank. Branch manager Trisha Malton and personal banker Malika McLeod, and similar allegations against the vice president of marketing Annalise or Alisa Moulton White. $65 million, $661,000 chop. In another incident, a senior NCB employee, may I tell you, no fight go on, the only reason everybody is paying attention now, because all this happened before Usain Bolt stuff happened, and right before it's just Usain Bolt's money, because Bolt is Usain Bolt, the legend, the big superstar, the Olympian, 8 times Olympic gold medalist, world title holder / something. And that's the only reason why. If Bolt money never get chopped, but wait, we're gonna get into the Bolt money stuff, because guess what? Right now, guess what this came down to? It came down to them asking, did Bolt even have an account at SSL? Did he even have an account here? We'll get into that in a minute. So the case follows a $65 million fraud probe at Sagicor and a $661,000 fraud probe. Again, in another incident, senior NCB employee Arsenio Johnson was nabbed by the fraud squad last July in relation to an alleged multi-million-dollar racket. And in May 2021, former NCB manager Andrea Gordon admitted to swindling another $34 million from the bank and was sentenced to 7 years and 6 months in prison. She get that 7 years and 6 months because she thief it from the bank. You see, if you chop a person, it's different. Them no want you chop the bank. Don't chop the bank. However, in his sermon on Sunday, the pastor used the experience of the disciple Matthew, a former tax collector himself, as an example of how persons can change when their hearts are impacted by the power of God. You have certain accounts, and this is what he told his congregation. He said, you have certain accounts, and if you have less than $100 in there, they take it. Now, after a while, some of us make the mistake and have $90 in the same account. And when you go after a long time, you hear say, them take it or something else. And sometimes we wonder if they are not equal or worse than what Matthew used to do. But Matthew was touched and transformed by Jesus. Matthew was touched and transformed by Jesus. And when we see this touch and this transformation, we see wonderful, moral, gracious, and sincere choices being made. A pastor make him case on behalf of his client, Me have to laugh, my friend. Me have to laugh. But here what? The big news of the day is this. The bigger heads. Let me ask y'all something, right? So there's a big investigation going on. Former SSL boss distances himself from all of this. The massive fraud investigation is underway. No accountability whatsoever. Now, again, put me in the frame of military person. There will always be accountability. You could never say you're the manager and this happened on your watch and you escape all punishment by saying, I just didn't know. It was your job to know. I just didn't know. They all get to resign, or they get to retire with pension, or a big severance package. That's how it works. Or a big severance package. But rarely ever, most of the time, 99% of the time, no prison time. They're just hit with fines, and then they can move forward and pay those fines off. I mean, when you're done thief $35 million and them fine you 1.5 mil, it's a bargain. This is something that people actually sit and think about. I've asked people this before, just doing a social experiment. If you knew that you could thief 10 million US dollars, but the consequence is that you're going to have to do 7 years in prison. They're going to sentence you to 7. You're going to end up about 2.5, right? And come out. Would you do it? See, people like me, some always say, no, I'm not do it because one day in a prison is too much for me. I get locked in a room with all the goodies in the room. I still feel claustrophobic. So I can't imagine being locked in. But majority of people say, hell yeah, it would have been worth it. Because when I come out, me rich. Hear me now, man. Nitty bitty crafters, big up yourself. So the man said, here is what the former SSL boss says. And this goes deeper. I'm going to give you the whole article in a second. He says, I didn't even know that Usain Bolt was a client, a customer here with SSL. I had no idea. I never even heard him name come up before. So, sir, on your watch, were you aware that world-class sprinter Usain Bolt, the icon, was actually involved, like invested millions of US dollars to the tune of about 2 point something billion dollars into your company? What? You saying who? No, I didn't even know he had an account there. What I talk about? I didn't even know. Trini L. Bay, peace to the God. I didn't even know he had an account here. Him name never come up in a no meeting around here before. Normally I tell you this, right? If Usain Bolt is invested in your company, more than likely everybody in the company knows that him invested in the company. Everybody of top tier knows he's invested in the company. Then no way that 8-time Olympic gold medalist, sprint legend Usain Bolt is invested in your company and people at the top don't know. No way. But them send out a warning to people who are getting on their platforms and saying things that might affect people's lives and all this. We're getting to it right now. What I want to know about this investigation they're doing is this. Because I see them raid one person house, right? The little lady where confessed that she fleeced about 40 people, but Usain wasn't one of them. So she already chopped herself clear of Usain, but her name comes up again. Did they raid the homes of any senior employees or any senior account managers or directors? Did they collect any computer equipment, documents, and files from them that may contain evidence that would show years of trace of something? No, they didn't. Think about that. No, they didn't. So when I said earlier that Usain might not see the money there again, because it's about to go here, there, and everywhere. Everybody are gonna get lost now. That's exactly what's going to happen. Watch this real quick. SSL saga spirals. Shout out to the Jamaica Observer. Now, with speculation running rife, we're getting there enough. Pay attention. With speculation running rife about what has become of the client's money since the Jamaica Observer broke the news of a massive fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited (SSL), its former chief executive officer Zachary Harding has sought to clear the air about his relationship with SSL and his new company, Delta Capital Partners Limited. And his new company, Delta Capital Partners Limited. I don't know if you watch documentaries, but I do. I did watch When name that we did have the big Ponzi scheme, the Jewish man up in New York there that fleeced all those people and thief billions of dollars. And it's pretty much about the same thing. Let me tell you what he did. He was a genius with trading on Wall Street, right? He was a forerunner. He came up with things. Bernie came up with things with models that are still executed today. Bernie Madoff, thank you. He came up with models that are still used today on Wall Street as far as trading goes, right? However, Bernie got greedy. So what Bernie did was Bernie had a legitimate company and then he had a shell company outside of that. His shell company was fleecing his legitimate, was thieving from his legitimate company, sabotaging his legitimate company to run his shell company. So the legitimate company was blowing up, but the thieving company on the side, that exploded. So he would, okay, give you a good example. If he's making legitimately 100 million over here with the legitimate company, him say, whoa, that's a lot of money. Start thief from them, start a new company on the side, start a new company on the side, and the new company on the side now start making billions. That was his model. Bernie Madoff. All right. Bernie Madoff. You see how life is ironic? Bernie Madoff. He made off all right. He made off with all them people's life savings. But anyhow, at the same time, observer sources had confirmed that sprint legend Usain Bolt has been resisting approaches, listen to this, by at least 3 major media houses overseas to do in-studio interviews relating to the theft of at least 12 million US dollars from his SSL account. People like Fox News, Good Morning America, all these people, they might ring off Usain's phone right now. They want to fly him in private jet style to sit him on and talk about, right? All right. Usain right now is saying he's rejecting these offers. He's not doing it. Not for now. Make him not get back his money, I see. Now, according to our sources, the media houses have reached out to the retired athlete with offers to fly him first class to sit with them, coming after news that his lawyers have threatened to sue SSL and the Financial Service Commission, FSC. I want to say the FSC, the head of the FSC, what did he do? Tekwe himself, he resigned. Quick fast. So they're threatening to sue not only SSL, but the governing body of the SSL that will govern that field, FSC, if his investment is not returned by January 27th. Today is the 23rd. So I guess him did give them the weekend off. I don't know. So it must have said 10 days or 7 business days, something like that. Okay. So today's the 23rd. We'll see what happens on the 27th. Now, meanwhile, on Saturday, Harding is the former head off, right? All right. Meanwhile, on Saturday, Harding explains Harding sought to create a distance between SSL and his new company, which is called Delta, the private equity company that he formed in June of 2020, in partnership with SSL. SSL founder Hugh Croskery. So Hugh Croskery founded this new company outside of SSL called Delta. All right. He explained that while at SSL, because he was the head of SSL also, while at SSL, he said that he was of the view that the company needed to move in a different direction because the business model was flawed. Now, as a result of that, a new entity, which is Delta, was formed to look in a new direction on a walk with this. Harding explained that the reason that Croskery, who is the head of SSL, has shares in the initial entity when it was formed, Delta, was simply because I was an employee at SSL. But I was trying to branch out to create a new entity that would be prosperous. And so I give him, so to speak, some shares. in the entity. At its launch, the SSL Group's board of directors had indicated in a press release that Delta, that new company, a legally separate entity, had its full support. At its launch, the SSL's group board of directors had indicated in a press release that Delta, that new company, a legally separate entity though, had its SSL's full support. Importantly, Hugh Croskery was never a director of that company and he was not actively involved in Delta. This is what he's saying now. It was merely a construct of how it was set up to facilitate trying to get a new business off the ground, is what Harding told the Observer. And he said that the two entities separated. Not that they were really joined, but they separated and they have no legal connections. One is not a subsidiary of the other in any shape or form, and there is no common shareholdings. Keep listening, keep listening. Harding said that based on the arrangements entered into with Croskery over at SSL, his shares have been transferred back to Delta, the side company where he opened. He's not a shareholder of Delta, and neither am I a shareholder of SSL anymore. There's no legal connection, he repeated. However, up to last Thursday, the company's Office of Jamaica website listed Croskery as the second largest shareholder of Delta with 450,000 ordinary shares. Harding holds the majority of the shares with 575,000 ordinary shares. All right, sir. So, I don't know. I think them things that we like slow are dumb, and this ain't my information. This is not me making this up. I am reading this straight out of the Jamaica Observer. So if there's any bones to pick and anybody want to cease and desist anybody, go over Jamaica Observer because it's front page right here. The thing about today is this: people no longer read. So they can put stuff right in front of us. Right now, if them set to we say February 14th, instead of the celebration of Valentine's Day, we're going to have 4 big trucks pull up every 6-block radius, and we will be herding citizens into these trucks and taking them to a camp for safety where they will be confined for up to an indeterminate amount of time. Not one of we would have said that rotted. I would, because I still read stuff, but majority of us don't. Either we're too busy, we don't have time. Some people work 2 jobs, some people work 1 job, but them have 3 picnic in the house. I run up and down. They have responsibilities. They have to be here, there, and everywhere. So we don't see stuff. But when them print it in front of Uno, and Uno miss it. So me carry on read it out phone and see it too. Get it now? All right. So on Sunday, when the Observer put that information to Harding, he said that on October 13, 2022, a notice to the registrar was filed, noting that all of the ordinary shares held by Croskery were surrendered effective September 22nd, September 2022. He provided a copy of the notice that was signed by Maureen Page for the registrar of companies. You can dock up any paperwork now. If that was not stamped notary, then me no know. But a provider, he provided copies. Harding said that the share transfer information will not show in the company's office website as yet because the annual returns are not due until October of 2023. And it is at that point that the website should be updated. Okay. Neither SSL nor Hugh Croskery nor any entity associated with them have any shareholdings in Delta or any of its companies from the outset. Hugh was a passive partner. Completely cut him off, you know. He played no active role in the day-to-day operations of Delta, and he was represented on Delta's board of directors by his daughter. Okay, family business. Sarah Crosskerry Maney, Harding explained. So it was not a case where a new entity was set up and money from SSL was used to set up that. No, you don't think so. Bernie Madoff, I just gave you all the same example, right, of what Bernie Madoff did. Go and watch the documentary on Bernie Madoff. You will understand what me I say right there. So. But he is funny because that's exactly how he defended this. Him said, so it was not a case where a new entity was set up and the money from SSL was used to set up Delta. You don't say. Delta has raised money from various clients across the world in order to capitalize itself and to make the acquisitions that it has made. Just like any other private equity type firm, it was not funded by SSL. Get that out of your head. And certainly, Usain Bolt's money was not used to form this company up on the side, Delta, or to make any investments. He said, this gets deeper. Of course. He told the Observer that during his stint as the CEO of SSL from September 19 to June of 2022, 19, 20, 21, 22, he was not aware that Bolt was an investor with SSL at all. It never came up. It never featured in any meeting ever. His exact word, quote unquote, right? That's all, according to the Jamaica Observer. Bolt's attorney, Linton Gordon, in his January 16th letter to SSL, had pointed out that the world record holder Usain Bolt had established an account with SSL via a limited liability company, essentially for his pension. The attorney stated that on October 31st of 2022, when my man did it, the account showed a balance of $12,758,181.74, and that's US dollars to you. However, on the date when he wrote the letter, Gordon said that the account had been depleted to only $12,074.65. All right, sir. Bolt is among at least 40 investors that have been hit by the fraud, which is being investigated by the Police Fraud Squad, the Financial Investigations Division, and the FSC. Now, the Financial Investigation Division, FSC, and Fraud Squad answer my question. And the question is, how come they never raid the homes of any of the managers, account managers, directors, CEOs? How come they never freeze up none of those computers and confiscate them and make? Oh, no, when FBI kick in people door and they're going to raid Donald Trump's property and they're going to raid this person's property, you know, see what them come out with, right? Them take everybody's cell phone, them take everybody's computer, them take every computer in the house, laptop, big back computer, them take everything. Because self-explanatory. None of this was done. So it leads to ask, what kind of investigation really are going? Thank you, BM. Boxes and boxes. Sometimes it looks like they're moving the people out of them house. All right. It moved from US 2000. Bramo, sister, you have to pay attention. That's what I said. I said, this is why I went to the US NBC. Once you see NBC, CNN, Fox, and them people that start cover it, me go over this for them information. Coming up to trust Jamaica and for them information. Why? I have to go to the Observer and the Gleaner and these people for information because it's not my information. However, I often find that information is twisted or skewed in some way in the Jamaican paper. So I normally start out there with a story and then I take it over to whatever entities overseas is investigating the same thing. If you go back to last week, Friday or Thursday, I told you that the Jamaica paper said 2,000, but US papers and NBC did a whole thing on this, and they gave information as to who gave them the numbers. This is something I can trust, because when it don't look right, me can say, well, Observer said it. Don't kill me. Me, I read what them say. And they're known to be credible, right? Or supposed to be credible. Well, NBC and them kind of operate the same kind of way, because these are big entities that don't want to be sued, and they don't want to be in no frivolous lawsuit or anything over saying the wrong thing in people's business. Okay, they've been told us that it was 12,000. $12,047.65 to be exact. So I told the audience here that that is what it was. 12,000, not 2,000. 12,000. And it wasn't Jamaican dollars, it was US dollars. Because remember, you know, when them say 12 million a Usain Bolt money, miss, remember say a 10 million them say first. I remember I said, I hope they're not talking about US dollars, because 12 million Jamaican dollar versus 12 million US dollars, there's a big difference. Let me wait and see if we get the proper information. And we got it. It was US dollars. And then all hell broke loose. You see, if I did 12 million Jamaican dollar, nobody wouldn't care. Because they'll be like, Chuck, I know money that for you seeing. But 12 million US, that's a lot of money for anybody. So here we are, depleted to that. Okay, Bolt is among at least 40. We went through that already. Fraud squad, I do them thing, financial investigations. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. Nobody in top tier. House has been raided, computers confiscated, frozen, nothing. Meanwhile, Harding has lashed out at people who he said are spreading misinformation on social media. It is damaging to the people who are mentioned, who are innocent, who are not involved in any way. It's damaging to their families. It's damaging to the reputation of other entities. It's damaging to potential investors. He said that it was also damaging at a global level, as it is impacting Jamaica's brand on a global level as an investment destination, although the two are not connected. On the member say me did say that from day one. I said, anyhow Usain Bolt get up and say, that's all Usain has to say. See, what we do is we underestimate the power of our people, right? Like, man, a star globally, but when him come to Jamaica, sure, I Usain Bolt that. He make a money off a track and field and whatever. Oh, well, so next, when he's in other people's country, he can't walk around by himself. Security team needed. Big crowd start follow him. One person say, yo, that's Usain. And next say, you kidding? Come on, let's go. Let's see if it's him. Next person say, before you know it, if Usain was to walk through a mall in the US, they would have to shut the mall down. That way, right? So his influence is huge. That's the reason why so many different brands do commercials with him. He's the face of many different brands. All it takes is Usain Bolt, 8-time Olympic world gold medal. All it takes of him to say one sentence, look in a camera and says, on some platform like Good Morning America, Fox News, MSN, CNN, MSNBC, and say, I'm telling y'all, do not invest your money in Jamaica. Mash up. But I also said that Bolt is not like that, because Usain love Jamaica so much. He's going to try to deal with the entities that fleeced him without trying to damage the entire Jamaica. That's how Usain is, right? There's no doubt that him love Jamaica. Others have brought it up. Remember, I know he could have done some commercials and these multi-million-dollar projects. He always kept telling them, I'll do it, but I'll only do it on one condition. If you guys fly your whole team to Jamaica and we do it there. Why? Because it pumps money into the economy there. He's in love with his country. Him could have got run for other people. Anyhow, this a money a ball out say those on social media saying this and that need to stop and it's damaging to the people who are not involved and who call up name that has nothing to do with whatever they always worried about what people on social media is saying. And to somebody like that who's supposed to be highly intelligent, I'll say this: social media is going to talk. It's the way of the world. You can't stop people from talk. When we didn't have social media, we used to susu and whisper and pass notes. And now we have social media, we can talk to people at England while we're in the US in real time, so on and so forth across the globe. That's just how things are. So if you don't have nothing to worry about, you'll come out okay. I understand though, trying to protect your brand and trying to do damage control when you see things getting out of control. And I'm not going to act like I don't. I do. I even do it on this small channel right here. You can't make everybody run away and say any kind of thing and just get away with it. It could damage your brand. I understand where it's coming from, right? But to see them so concerned about what is being said on social media instead of being concerned about where this investigation is going and who will be exposed kind of makes me go, Hmm. He said that it was also damaging on a global level and it is impacting Jamaica's brand as an investment destination. Now, you have specific people that go on their social media pages, post pictures of individuals, make accusations and assertions on their posts, and then you have a whole bunch of people underneath it supporting the post and spreading it as though it was true. I can't lie. I can relate. However, but I'm just saying, he says it is risky and it is dangerous, and people need to be a lot more circumspect in what they take as accurate. He said an appeal to the people spreading misinformation to allow the proper journalists and the police investigators to do their work. I'm going to end this one by saying this. But, sir, what if we see the proper journalists and the proper police investigators not doing what them supposed to do, sir? We shouldn't say nothing. May I left it right this one. Food for thought. If you want to read this paragraph or this not paragraph but this article all over again for yourself, where you can sit down and suss it, go to Jamaica Observer and type in SSL Saga Spirals. It's all there for you. All right. Wanna see how me do my thing? Because me no want nobody come point no finger upon me and say nothing. And again, when I go to beautiful Jamaica, I like to walk around and feel free. Because me no want nobody you go kill the boy because him did say so and the wrong information him give out and mash up my business. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. God spare my life. Big up on yourself. Manners and respect to each and every one of you. I'm out. Peace. Yeah.